Welcome back to Yusuf Reacts. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic James Bond films ever made, From Russia with Love. Released in 1963, this movie gave audiences more of what they wanted after the massive success of Dr. No. Set against the backdrop of the Cold War, From Russia with Love introduces us to a deeper, darker side of the spy world. Unlike later Bond movies that lean into outrageous gadgets and explosive action, this one is a masterclass in suspense and espionage. In this movie, Bond's mission is personal and perilous. His assignment: retrieve a Soviet decoding device known as the Lecter. While working with Tatiana Romanova, a Soviet embassy clerk who is being manipulated by the evil organization, SPECTRE. And what would Bond be without his adversaries? This time, he faces two ruthless enemies, the deadly Rosa Klebb, played by Lot Lenya, and the assassin Red Grant, portrayed by Robert Shaw. They're both captivating villains who add real menace and suspense to Bond's mission. One of the film's highlights is the unforgettable sequence aboard the Orient Express. This extended scene builds tension expertly, and the fight between Bond and Grant is intense, gritty, and groundbreaking for its time. From the iconic opening credits and haunting theme song to the perfectly crafted Cold War setting, From Russia with Love sets a high bar for the Bond series. It's got everything: action, intrigue, and, of course, Sean Connery's suave performance as 007. Many fans consider From Russia with Love one of the best Bond films ever made. If you're a fan of classic cinema or spy thrillers, this is a must-watch that helped cement James Bond's place in film history. James Bond willingly falls into an assassination plot involving a naive Russian beauty in order to retrieve a Soviet encryption device that was stolen by the organization SPECTRE. James Bond 007 is on the search for a Russian decoding machine known as Lecter. Bond needs to find this machine before the evil SPECTRE organization discovers it. While being romantically linked with Russian girl, Tatiana Romanova, Bond sneaks his way around Istanbul while each SPECTRE agent tries to pick him off, including the overpowering Donald Red Grant and ex-KGB agent Rosa Klebb, who knows all of the tricks in the book and even possesses an incredible poison-tipped shoe. Seeking revenge against MI6 agent James Bond Sean Connery for the death of their agent Dr. No in Jamaica, international criminal organization SPECTRE begins training agents to kill him, before assigning the task to Irish assassin Donald Grant Robert Shaw. To lure Bond into a trap, SPECTRE's chief planner, Czechoslovak chess grandmaster Konstantin Vladek Shabel, devises a plan to have Bond attempt to procure a Lecter cryptography device from the Soviets from their consulate in Istanbul. He knows the Brits will never pass on an opportunity to get their hands on a Lecter coding device, and that they will assign Bond for the mission. SPECTRE operative Rosa Klebb Lot Lenya, a former SMERSH Soviet counterintelligence colonel, is assigned to oversee the mission and to ensure Grant can carry out Bond's assassination at the right moment. To set the trap, Klebb recruits a cipher clerk who doesn't yet know that Klebb is no longer working for the Soviets at the consulate. Tatiana Romanova Daniela Bianchi, a Soviet consulate clerk and Bond's love interest, to unwittingly assist in the plan, tricking her into believing she is still working for SMERSH. Klebb tells Romanova that her job is to seduce Bond, which she accepts reluctantly. In London, Bond is called to a meeting with Bernard Lee, and informed that Romanova has requested Bond's help to defect to the West, in exchange for providing British intelligence a Lecter. Exactly as Konstantin predicted, M suspects a trap but decides to honor Romanova's request. Before departing, Bond is given a special attaché case by Q Desmond Llewellyn, containing several defensive gadgets and an Armalite R7 sniper rifle, to help on his assignment. Upon arriving in Istanbul, Bond works alongside the head of MI6's branch in the city, Ali Karim Bey Pedro Armendariz, while he awaits word from Romanova. During this time, Karim is attacked by Soviet agent Kurlenko Fred Haggerty. who causes problems for the men. This was after Grant killed one of the Soviet agents and made it look like the Brits did it. Unaware that Grant is shadowing Bond to protect him until he steals the Lecter. Karam is perplexed as it is not like the Soviets to disturb the peace like this. He uses a periscope he installed in the Soviet intelligence office from underneath a 4th century water reservoir to figure out that Krylenko is back in town. After an attack on the men while they hide out at a gypsy settlement, Grant intervenes at critical moments to keep Bond out of harm's way. Although Karam is shot in the hand, Karam assassinates Krylenko with Bond's help before he can flee the city. Eventually, Romanova meets Bond at his hotel suite, where she agrees to provide plans to the consulate for him to help him steal the Lecter. The pair spend the night together, unaware Spectre is filming them as part of Kronstein's plan. Upon receiving the consulate's floor plans from Romanova gives them to Bond at the St. Sophia Church. But only after Grant dispatches the Soviet agent trailing her, Bond and Karam make a plan to steal the Lecter. Before all three make haste to escape the city aboard the Orient Express. Once aboard, Karam discovers a Soviet security officer tailed them, forcing Bond to help him subdue them. While Karam remains with him to prevent him escaping, Bond returns to Romanova to wait for their rendezvous with one of Karam's men. Karam was supposed to stop the train midway at the point where his men were supposed to meet him. However, Grant kills Karam and the Soviet officer, forcing Bond to remain on the train and question Romanova's motive. When the train arrives in Belgrade, Bond passes on news of Karam's death to one of his sons waiting for them, and receives instructions to travel to Zagreb and rendezvous with a British agent named Nash. However, the man he meets is actually Grant, who has already killed Nash and assumed his identity. After drugging Romanova at dinner, Grant overpowers Bond. He quickly reveals that Romanova was a pawn in Spectre's plan to acquire the Lecter while playing Brits and the Soviets against each other, and that he intends to kill both and stage it as a murder-suicide, leaving behind faked blackmail evidence that will scandalize the British intelligence community. The film of Romanova and Bond making love, and a letter from Romanova saying that Bond has to marry her else she will expose him. Bond tricks Grant by promising him 50 gold coins in his case. Into setting off a booby trap in his attaché case, a tear gas canister explodes in his face when he opens it before killing him. Taking the Lecter and the film of their night together, Bond and Romanova leave the train in Istria, Yugoslavia, and use Grant's escape plan. Grant had eloquently described how he planned to get away. They evade helicopter and boat attacks by Spectre agents before reaching safety. Learning of Grant's death and Bond's survival, Spectre's enigmatic chairman Ernst Stavro Blofeld Anthony Dawson has Kronstein executed for his plan's disastrous failure. As the organization promised to sell back the Lecter to the Russians for a price, Kleb is ordered to recover it and kill Bond. Kleb reaches the pair while they are resting in a hotel in Venice, and sneaks into their room disguised as a maid. Kleb orders Romanova to leave the room while holding Bond at gunpoint. Romanova then re-enters, tackling Kleb and knocking the pistol to the ground. Kleb and Bond struggle, and Romanova picks up the pistol and kills Kleb. With their mission accomplished, Bond and Romanova spend some time on a romantic boat ride, and Bond throws the film into the canal. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what's your favorite James Bond movie. And stay tuned for more deep dives into classic cinema here on Yusuf Reacts.